Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to JMQs. We're going to keep this mercifully short tonight, as you can tell by the technical gremlins we've just had. So I'm just going to run you through some updates on some projects I've got here and some bits and pieces I bought today, and I'll field questions from the audience. But no, we'll keep it nice and short tonight. And also my my voice is starting to go out a bit. So bear with. There we go. That's more like it. We had a bit of a technical glitch there for a moment. This is why we're going to keep it short tonight, folks. Anyway, there we go. There's the workshop camera. Now, when I went walkabout today, I had to pop down to my local Pineland, and I picked these up, which are bamboo cotton buds, and they, unlike a lot of things in Poundland these days, these were actually £1. And it says on the front there, biodegradable bamboo stem, 100% pure cotton tip buds, kind and gentle. Obviously, I use a lot of these for cleaning airbrushes and whatnot, but I saw them today and I thought, well, I'll give them a go. I'm not a fan of the, obviously the plastic stem ones are a bit of a no-no these days. Although I've got to say that my Johnson's ones here, yeah, they're cardboard stems as well. So anyway, I thought for £1 we'll give them a go and see what they're like. So I will be doing a thing at some stage where I'm going to go into Poundland with like a tenner and see what I can pick up that's modeling related. Anyway, let's say hello to the comments here. And let's say hello to Russell Taylor, Tony Surridge, 9 Volts, Nick Brown, Peter Oxley, John P. Huston, Damian Mullen, Sean Smith, Dave Swindle, Paul Adams, Jerry Doyle, Darren McQuillan, Phil, Peter Oxley, David Griffith, Lee Suter, Andy King, Paul Milligan, Carlos Ruiz, John Houston, Crazy Loca, Nick Emery, not Dick Emery, that's disappointing. Would have been good if it was Dick Emery, because he used to be the president of the Airfix Modelers Club, I seem to remember. Captain Magenta, Jim Altergott, John Connolly, Shane Weir, good day, Shane, Simon Lewis, Dougal McWoogle, Dave Coward, David Fredrickson, who says, hi, JM. All the best this holiday season. Thank you, David. That's very kind of you. Matthew Walker says, asks question, are these scrolls downs t-shirts really a thing? I'm looking into it. So Jim asks question, where is Mr. Manton this Sunday evening? Mr. Manton is dealing with he's got an ailing cat, unfortunately. So he's decided not to do the show tonight. And I fully understand that, for the simple reason that going back nearly 20 years ago, he was due to come up and pick me up to take me to Telford, and my late younger sister's cat was on its way out, and I said, Drew, I can't go today. I'll get the train up the next day and I'll do it today. So he was very understanding about it. So yeah, it's always a horrible situation to be in, and my thoughts are with him. Michael Scott says, good evening, troops. Russell Taylor says, NASCAR lines. NASCAR lines, interesting. Yeah, we had a little bit of a technical hiccup there. Theron Hampton says, hello from Denver, Colorado. Peter Oxley says, those look cool, JM. Talking about the cotton buds. Yeah, the new Johnson ones seem to break in your hand. So, I'm always up for grabbing stuff from Poundland. Stan Codling says, evening all. Robert Johnson, hello, JM from Ontario, Canada. Matthew Walker says, excellent. Ofer Cohen says, good evening all. Russell Taylor says, but I like you. Yeah, it's a Dick Emery thing. Steve Moores, evening all. Blah 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 blah. Yep. So thank you everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. Like I say, we're going to try and keep it reasonably brief tonight. So I'm going to do some updates on a couple of projects that I am working on, and chief of which is the little Italeri AMX. Now I'm slightly stymied by the fact that I came back from Telford without the clear parts. Duh! So I've had a word with Mr. Farmer of the hobby company, and he is going to the office, and he's going to grab me some from their spares department. So yeah, that's a real bind, not having the clear parts, because we are fabulously close to wrapping this one up. And what we're going to do some live modeling here, folks. Hang on to your trenches, because what we're going to do is see, look, I am fabulously organized. I've got all my small parts are in there, and we're going to glue the wings on tonight. And I just did a dry run of them, and they bolt on rather nicely. And I'm just having a look now. I can see, looking through here, I can see that there is something. I can feel it there. There is a little bit of a, we'll zoom in, I think. There we go. There is just a little bump of something just there. So I'm going to carefully Swan Morton that off of there. Oh, there, you can feel it. And then using our glorious, where's my sanding stick gone, everybody? Oh my goodness me, my Infinity sanding stick has gone AWOL. Oh well, we'll pick one up from the we'll pick one up from the selection we've got in front of us. There we go. I do like the 400. So just a little bit of work in there. Then we will offer that back up to the fuselage again. And that is so much better now. You haven't got that little bit that was causing a bit of a nuisance there. Yep. So that's really nice, and that's really nice and firm. And I'm just having a look at the dihedral to make sure the dihedral is correct on these. So yeah, we might just glue them in place actually. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So grabs his Tamiya extra thin, quick setting. And I'm just going to run a bead on the underside there. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to squeeze those parts together, because I'll have molten plastic which will come out onto the seam there. So I don't want that, because that's going to make for tricky cleaning up afterwards. And I'm just going to check that wing there. That just needs to go up a bit there. So we'll run a little bit on the underside there. And I'm just having a quick look at the dihedral, making sure that's all good. Yeah, see, I've done there what I said I didn't want to do, which is I squeezed it and a little bit of molten plastic came out, but that's fine. That the resulting kind of panel line gaps, I can just touch them in with some Mr. Surfacer, but I'm just having a quick look head on. Yep, they're fine. They're absolutely solid. So excellent. Right. Okay. That's a bit of work on that done and out of the way. I'm just having a quick look, reading some of the comments. Simon Lewis says, I know it's the Interesting Modelling Company, but if Dick Henry was on it, as he's been gone 40 years, it would be the Blooming Miracle Company Co. Yeah, it would be. That would be quite something to have the late Dick Henry on the show. Just having a read out. Scrolls down. You know it's good to have a catchphrase, isn't it? Russell Taylor, this is a good one. I like this one. Russell Taylor says, Fairy February for all those who bought Airfix Gannets. I like the sound of that. That's something to have a think about. And Russell also says, what, no wing jig? No, I'm absolutely trusting to hand-eye coordination there. So I think we can get away with it. And Steve Moore says, gutted, misplaced my long number 7 Swan Morton handle at Telford. Had that for 20 years. This isn't yours, Steve, but I know the ones you mean, because I've got one. Oh. No, that's a number 5. I'm in error. That's a number 5 there, but I thought I had a number 7. But I have discovered that I've actually got a spare. I've got a spare 4 as well. So, yeah, it's always a real kind of like bummer when you come back from Telford and you've left something behind. So. No, like a clear part for a kit. So yeah, I know the feeling. Anyway, let's crack on with some other projects. So let me just put the AMX up on the stand there, and it's all right. Bear with. And I've also been doing some work on the little 48 scale Tamiya M8, which is a glorious little kit. Well, it's Tamiya, what do you expect? And we've got it up to a primer stage. Just as soon as you put primer on this, it really kind of reinforces the fabulous kind of textures and detail that Tamiya put in these kits. What I've done is I've followed everybody's advice, and I've just pretty much glued everything together. I'm just going to paint everything in situ and going to do it that way. And so, yeah, this is going to be one of the any color you want, as long as it's olive drab. So we've got 2 choices there. I quite like the look of that one. I think having the extra star on the turret makes it look rather interesting. And we've got our commander figure. He's all cleaned up. So we will create a little vignette for this, which will be good fun. I would like to build more of these little 48 scale Tamiya kits, because they are an absolute doddle to put together, and they always look rather neat. So yeah, so that's where we are with that one at the moment. So hopefully we should be chucking some paint at it at some stage. And the other one that I've got, which I'm still working on, and is the little German Hanomag RL20 tractor by Sabre and 1602. This is such a fragile model. It's honestly, I've just picked it up. You can see, I don't know if you can see there, the photo etch for the foot treads has started to come away. So I am going to have to go in there and do another repair job on it. The good news is that I can be quite brutal on the undersides, because we are going to be covering all our mistakes with mud. So but yeah, it's such a fragile little model, this, and it's, oh goodness me, I mean, the detail is absolutely sumptuous, but if you're a bit clumsy like me, it's not very forgiving. So that's where we are with that. We've primed everything with Tamiya fine grey primer, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of Wiffery, and I'm going to do one in overall German grey, but I'm going to do some winter whitewash on it. I think we can get away with that. I think we can get away with a little bit of imaginative modelling. There are some absolutely horrific ejection point marks on the inside of that, so might not use that. That's I'm too lazy to kind of fill it as well. So but yeah, it's a very enjoyable little kit, and this one was donated to the show by Froome Model Centre, so we are very grateful for them for their generosity. And I am hoping to pop along and see them at some stage, because I've not been able to go to Froome in the last few months since my holiday at Southmead. So yeah, it would be nice to go to Froome at Christmas. It's got to be said. So that's where we are with projects at the moment. I am also going to give a little shout out. And this is one of the glorious benefits of feeding birds in your garden. This is the lid from the bird fat ball container, and it does make a fabulous painting stand. I've got probably dozens and dozens and dozens of these. This is after they switched from doing the bird fat balls in plastic containers. They now do them in cardboard boxes, so it's much more kind of ecologically sound. But I did end up with loads and loads of these plastic lids. But as I say, they do make fabulous paint stands. They are recyclable as well. It's just sometimes some recycling centres can be a bit funny about black plastic, but there we go. Free and cheap paint stands if you are feeding your birds. So, top tip that, he said, trying to convince himself it's a top tip. I'm just having a... Anthony says, do you get the figures with that tractor kit, JM, please? No figures whatsoever. In fact, I'm just going to have a quick look on the box to see. It says, this is not a toy. Cement and paint not included. Unassembled plastic model kit. Here we go. There we go. It does actually say on the lid, kit contains one tractor and no figures. So, but I don't know. That will just be a model. I'm not going to bother with figures for that. So, yeah, it's just going to be a straight little build, really. Yeah, it's a shame about that roof. I do think it looks rather neat with the roof on, but I can't be bothered to deal with those injection pin marks. So blah blah blah. Anyway, just having a quick look at some of the comments. Jim says, question, don't forget about the bear with t-shirts. Yeah, I think we'll have two. We'll have one that just says scrolls down, and bear with. See, look, we've got catchphrases. Isn't that good? And John, it's interesting. John Connolly says, wish list, ICM might do a 1/48 Hamden. That would be nice. That would fit in rather nicely with their Beaufort that they've done. Whether they actually get around to doing one, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that will be interesting. And I'm just having a quick look at some more comments here. Simon says, have you the Tamiya 48 scale K2 ambulance? I saw someone on Facebook saying very empty box. The main body is one part with no opening doors. We were hoping to have one for Scale Model World, but it got stuck on the boat. So fingers crossed, we might get our hands on one very soon. And obviously, when we do, we'll we will report on it. So no, haven't seen that kit yet at all. But like I say, we will endeavour to report on it as soon as we do. I just need to have a quick drink, actually. Cheers. Other than that, I'm just trying to kind of like squeeze in some modelling in between doing absolutely nothing, because now that we've reached Christmas, I just like sitting in the front room and having a good read. But I am going to try and squeeze in some extra modelling time as well. So here's an interesting comment from Mike Williams, and he says, ICM do like their 1/48 scale World War II twin prop aircraft, so a Hamden would not be outside of their sphere of releases. I wouldn't be surprised if they did go for one, because it would fit in with their desire to to kind of like court the British market at the moment, which they're definitely trying to do with the Beaufort. I'm just having a quick look at some of the comments. Scrolls down. Steve Moores, here's one for the group. Steve Moores says, anyone have any experience of lighting a model with LEDs? Over to you, folks. If you can help Steve out, that would be, I'm sure he would really appreciate it. Simon Lewis says these people are well worth a look at. www.thecraftingwell.uk. Yeah, been on their website. Very good. So yes, the link is up there, folks. Head over and have a quick look. And Craig says lighting a model with fireworks. Is that a brand of LEDs, Craig, or are you talking about firecrackers? He says could help with that. Steve Parker says, whoops, late. Have I missed anything? No, you've just missed me waffling on for half an hour because I'm just desperately trying to fill time in lieu of the fact that it's just me for tonight. So Anthony says, I have done some lighting in the past, but mostly for Star Trek kits. I've got to say, actually, that was one of the things I kept half an eye out for a lookout at Telford, and that was an AMT reboxing of their original Enterprise kit, their television Enterprise kit. I had one when I was a kid, but I just didn't want it, so I think I gave it to my friend Stuart at the time. And there's a fine scale modeler magazine. Hang about, let me just call it up here. I had this book back in the 80s, late 1970s, early 80s, and it was a British reprint of a book they did called Famous Spaceships. Now I can only find the original Kalmbach version, Famous Spaceships of Fact and Fantasy, but it's a very good book, and it had, apart from the fact that the modeling in it was exceptional, but there was an article in there on building the AMT Enterprise and converting it into a freighter as well, and that's stuck with me down the years. And so I'd like to do one. I really would. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye out and see if I can bag one. And I'm just having a look. I'm just seeing what some of the comments are. I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to make sense of. It's kind of like conversations going on, and I'm trying to kind of like pick out what people are saying. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. No, I think that's going to be about it for tonight, folks. It is just going to be, as I say, it's just going to be a quick update on some of the things I'm working on. Fingers crossed, we'll actually start chucking some paint at some of these models this week, because certainly the little Hanomag tractor and the M8, there's no reason why I cannot start painting them. So I need to get a wiggle on, and yeah, just try not to let Christmas get in the way, because I do enjoy sitting doing nothing at this time of year. I do enjoy sitting in front of the tree reading a book. So anyway, Simon says, any dates for the group build? Oh yes, of course, yes. Branding. We are going to be doing over the Christmas period, fingers crossed, we will do the Walker Bulldog Challenge. I just need to double check with Spence when he's clear to go for it, and then we will progress. It's probably going to be over the Christmas period, so we will try and time it for when people actually have some time off. And you know, we'll see what we can do. But as we said previously, if you want to take part, and you can head over to Jadlam, and they're doing a special offer at the moment on that kit, £15 including postage. So all you got to do is use the coupon code IMCIQSM41 at the checkout. But yeah, we will be finalizing a date for this at some stage, and it should be a lot of fun. It's an opportunity to take an old kit and, you know, let your imagination run riot with it, really. So on that note, I am going to leave you to your Sunday evening. Thank you for tuning in and watching a middle-aged man from Dudley waffle on for half an hour. So very kind of you. Nick Brown. I'm just seeing Anthony Bird says, have my Walker Bulldog so we can all join in, please. Nick Brown says, got my Walker tank ready. Thanks to Jadlam. Brilliant. Excellent. And yeah, Peter says, please send best wishes to Drew. Yeah, it's one of the penalties of owning pets is that they are built for quality but not for longevity. And yeah, like I say, Drew was very good to me when I had to say goodbye to one of my cats nearly 20 years ago. So hopefully I'll catch up with him soon, and we'll have a beer and a television event, because we're due to have our annual Thing-a-thon, where we watch the original 1953 version of the film The Thing from Another World. Then we watch the 1982 John Carpenter remake / sequel, and then we don't bother with the 2011 one. But anyway, and I'm just saying, we've got Jim says, can we outside of Blighty join in the build? Of course you can, Jim. If you can grab hold of a Walker Bulldog, of course you can. Absolutely. Steve Parker says, Bulldogs arrived here too. Brilliant. And Andy King says, my Tamiya M41 turned up last week. This is brilliant. I'm really looking forward to this now. So yeah. So on that note, I'm going to go and have a drink and a cup of tea, obviously, and prep for Ghosties, which is coming up at 8:30. So thank you, everybody who tuned in tonight. I'm sorry it's a short show, but I like you too much to bore you senseless with stuff here. So on that note, I will leave you to it. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and hopefully we try and do a pop-up live during the week, especially as I got to do some painting, so that will make for an interesting broadcast and / disaster, and failing that, hopefully we'll all be kind of like with you next weekend. So until then, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you very soon, so take care. Bye for now.